Genius Invocation TCG. Everything we know so far. Disclaimer. Everything is taken from leaks and the official sneak peek, and TCG is still under development, so this information is subject to change. Also, keep in mind that this is mostly speculation, as we do not have much official information as of yet. I will link the tweets containing the leaks in the description of this video if you want to check them out yourself. So you might be wondering, Z, what is this Genius Invocation TCG you're talking about? Well, Genius Invocation TCG, which we'll call TCG for short, is a new permanent game mode to be added to Genshin Impact in a future version. TCG, meaning trading card game, involves drawing cards and battling opponents using said cards. It reminds me of Hearthstone a lot. Now let's take a closer look at different aspects of the game. First, we'll take a look at the board, or playing space. There are two sides of the board, your half and the opponent's half. On each half there are two zones. The character zone and what I presume is the support zone, which I'll talk about in more detail later. The last thing would be the deck, from which you draw cards at the end of every round. As I said earlier, there are two zones, the support zone and the character zone, and both can hold up to 4 cards. We don't have much information about what cards go in which zone or what the cards there do, but this is what I thought of from what we know. The character zone is where the fighting cards are. They have attributes, statuses, HP, and can be damaged or destroyed. The support zone is a zone which contains cards that might offer buffs or bonuses to character zone cards. If you play Tears of Themis, you might find this similar to the main deck and support deck that we have in the game. As for cards, there are approximately 220 designs, with only 25 being from the playable characters pool. Some are Ganyu, Diona, Kaya, Changyun, Ayaka, Xingqiu, Mona, Diluc, Xiangling, Bennett, Amber, Yoimiya, Fischl, Razor, Keqing, Cyno, Sucrose, Jean, Ningguang, Noelle, and Kale. There are also cards that contain bosses, like Oceanid, Hypostasis, and Regis Vines. You can max proficiency with the cards, which I assume is done by playing them. Cards have two states, inactive and active. Active cards are the ones who deal damage to opponent's cards when it's your turn. To know which card is currently active, just look at which card is out of line. Also, from what I've seen, active cards are auto-targeted and you cannot change which card you're going to attack. Meaning you can attack an opponent's inactive card and your active card will automatically target the opponent's active card. Character cards can have regular statuses, combat statuses, and equipment cards attached to them. Each character can have one artifact equipment and one weapon equipment attached to them. From what I understand, characters can have any type of equipment attached to them, meaning someone like Diluc, who usually uses Claymore, can have a sword attached to him. They also have skills that they can use, which include normal attack and burst. They might have elemental skills, but the video and the leaks don't show them using that. Their skills can create different types of statuses, which will affect the current active character. All character cards have these attributes: HP, charge, and statuses. There might be more that we don't know of because they haven't been added yet or are not so easily seen and understood. Cards in what I think is the support deck have other attributes which seem to be a skill cooldown and maybe a skill duration, though I'm not sure about either of those since they haven't been confirmed. HP is kinda self-explanatory, so I'll move on to charge. From what I've seen, 4-star characters have 2 charge points and 5-star characters have 3 charge points. To fill a charge point, the character has to perform an action. Once all charge points are filled, you can use the character's burst. As for statuses, apart from the ones mentioned earlier, or maybe this is one of those, elements can be applied to characters. Reactions are also a thing and can be procced in the same way as normal reactions. Lastly, cards can be acquired through gameplay. Oh, and there are also the mysterious golden character cards, which we might hear about as more time goes on. Opponents can be NPCs, playable characters like cyno official, and other travelers, which means your friends and maybe even strangers. Some playable characters have two modes, friendly and serious, which is basically easy mode and hard mode. You can play PvP against friends, which doesn't offer rewards, or PvE, which means against NPCs and characters. There are different ascension challenges, ranging from advanced to legend, as well as weekly challenges from beginner to legend. Open world challenges also exist, but I can't even imagine what we might have to do in those. Now, you might ask, Z, you've explained so much about the cards and stuff, but how do you play? Well, I'm glad you asked. At the start of a round, you choose 3 character cards, and one of them to be the initial active one. You also draw 5 cards, which doesn't include the 3 character cards I talked about earlier, and you can switch them out to form your hand. From what I've seen, the cards in your hand are the ones in the support zone, like Yu-Peng and the mimics we saw in the special program. To be honest, I don't understand this part very well, so apologies if I didn't explain it properly. Small note here, I assume that in the preview from the special version we got, the hand are the cards you have which are not on the table, and then the ones that we saw in what we said is the support zone might be the ones that you played and are on cooldown or have to stay on the board until they expire or something. There are also 8 elemental dice which you can roll. 7 for the 7 current elements in the game, and the other one being the Omni element, which can become any element you choose. To win a game of TCG, you need to take out all the opponent's cards. The rounds go like this. You roll the die, take an action, and end your turn. Once both sides have finished these steps, the round ends and each of them draw 2 cards. The actions you can take are: use active character skills, switch active character, play a card from your hand, discard a card from your hand, and change the elemental type of one of your die, or end turn. And that would be all for this video. I know it might still be a bit confusing because for me it's also a bit confusing, but stuff might change or new things might be added. So I wanted to gather all we know so you don't have to search the whole internet for crumbs on this. Thanks for watching, and I really hope you win the 50-50.